It's me, Julie O'Connell. I'm just coming on here to tell you about a scary story about where I used to go to school. If anybody knows about St. Vincent's, it is haunted. We used to hear knocks at our doors late at night, and there would be nobody there. We believe this was a friendly ghost, but I've also seen other things that are kind of scary. If you don't know the history about St. Vincent's was built in 1846, and it sits on an area that has a monastery. At one point in time, St. Vincent's was an all-boys school. They also have a cemetery, which is closest to the dorms on the one side of Gerard Hall. You can actually see the cemetery and like the tennis courts on the back side of Gerard Hall. We believe this is why it is so haunted. At night, you'd hear knocking, you'd hear stuff. Even one time when I was walking with my friend to his house, and there's a cornfield near St. Vincent's, I saw a shadow man. So I truly believe that St. Vincent's has some spiritual beings near the campus. It also has a huge basilica that is replicas of like the ones you find over in Europe or in Italy or Rome. So St. Vincent's is a beautiful, beautiful campus. It's considered the Laurel Highlands, which is near Pittsburgh. The closest town is Greensburg to Pittsburgh. Greensburg is closest to Latrobe, Pennsylvania. This is where St. Vincent's is found. St. Vincent's is now a co-ed school. But they actually use like dormitories that they used to use for like military. And if anyone knows about St. Vincent's, it's also the practice facility for the Pittsburgh Steelers. In the summertime, they practice there. So, because usually nobody is on campus then. But it is a very scary place. Especially when you're in your dorm room and you're here knocking on your door and there's no one out there. This happened multiple occasions when I was there. I believe that was a friendly ghost, but I'm sure there's some other not so nice ghosts there. So just be careful. Do your research on the history of any college that you go to, because there could be haunted stories. They've all had folklore of haunted stories. I can also tell you, before I went up to St. Vincent's, they actually had an incident in the springtime where a gentleman gained access to this floor that this girl was on, and she was pretty much the only girl on the floor at the time, because it was like a spring break type deal. And he actually got onto the floor and sexually assaulted this girl. So just be careful of your surroundings. Be careful. Be aware of everything that you're doing. There would be people that would hang out really late at night at St. Vincent's. I did not do that. It's just proper courtesy, to have quiet hours. And they usually did have quiet hours. Like after 10 o'clock at night, it was supposed to be quiet hours. But you still had people that wanted to party on the weekends. So, yeah, of course, that would get loud at times too. But these ghosts, I'm pretty sure they were friendly ghosts. They didn't mean any harm. They were just mischievous. But I do believe that there are things out there that we cannot just explain. So it's just it is what it is. St. Vincent's is very haunted, and I've seen multiple videos on the paranormal shows about St. Vincent's and how scary and how haunted it can be. But yes, it is very haunted, and I remember going there. Remember having really doubts about certain things. So sometimes these things can feed off your fears. So try not to feed it any fear, and then should be okay. I also prayed at night, and some people even had rosaries. So because it is like set on a monastery and stuff. We weren't allowed to have any pets in our dorms either, and sadly, we would get a bunch of cats that were dumped up there. The cafeteria staff, they would help these cats and stuff, and it's just very heartbreaking that we have people that want to dump cats out in the open and stuff. But just be careful, because anywhere you go can be haunted. At night, it was very spooky, because at one point in time, St. Vincent's actually had barns. They used to have horses and stuff. And there's like this small like pond area where the cross country would run around. I used to go sit near this pond at night, but you had to go through a wooded path just to get to it, which was kind of creepy. Actually, one night when I was walking that way, I saw a gentleman who was hunting on St. Vincent's property and should not have been there. He hunted a deer and harvested deer. So just be careful of your surroundings, because anything is possible and anything could happen. Thank you and have a great day.